Hi guys, this is Shayan Ali. As you guys know, that I've been posting videos over here about AI and stuff. So today I have um a real life kind of based topic that I just finished writing about on my LinkedIn, and we're gonna review a LinkedIn post that I just posted, and we're gonna talk more into detail about what is it about and where does the whole idea come from. Okay, so let me put this over to 10. Okay, so this is the post that I have that I just wrote, which is about the fact that as AI came in, we realized that reading reports and papers is super cool and it can be super fastly automated. Because now I can just give a prompt to Gemini and be like, hey, just give me a summary of this 500-page Stanford report and tell me everything I need to know about X, Y, and Z, right? But this seems very efficient, there are some major problems attached to this. So all the problems that I'm gonna tell over here in this video and everything that I say, as always, as I give a disclaimer in the description, are all my thoughts. So personally, this is what I have felt, that if you think that this is very efficient, it's not, because first of all, you are looking at digital images, which we don't even remember what we see these days because our attention spans are super low because of the reels and the TikToks and the short form content just completely fried up our receptors. So we don't really like whatever we read, we feel very powerful and very empowered because we get the dopamine hit from the words and the visuals and the phrases these agents use to describe the ideas that are in the report. So we feel very energized and feel that, hey, I just found the cheat code and now I know this. But in the long run, because it's digital images and our receptors are fried, we don't actually remember anything. So when a friend, let's say, asks me like a week later that, hey, what did you read last week? I know nothing. My brain just completely goes blank. And so this is one of the things that I have felt personally. And the second thing is that this is a psychological thing that I've noticed, which is that as AI is more memory based, so it keeps information on you. So let's say if I'm a CS major right now, as you can see, and let's say I'm focused on knowing about what is the impact of AI in education, for example, right? That's like my main focus. So when I give a paper that has education in it, and it has all the other bunch of things like politics and social and all the other types of things like politics, nuclear weapons, whatever it might be. The AI, even though its whole job is to summarize the report, but it is still going to focus a little bit more on the education part than the others because it knows that Cheyenne loves to talk and discuss about AI's impact in education. So if I tell Cheyenne more on the educational part, he is going to be more inclined to feel to talk to discuss more with me on education, and he's going to feel more empowered and it's going to align more on how to serve Cheyenne. So like to serve me better, it's going to focus on the AI and education part. Now, why is this thing so dangerous? So the dangerous part is that let's say there's a report that has impact in politics, social sciences, AI accountability, mechanistic interpretability, a lot of all these sectors, right? Economy and where are we headed and all that stuff. And let's say there's 500 pages of that information, which is very important. And I just, focus on the education part. And because I'm so one-dimensionally focused, I'm not going to get all the other perspectives that are in the report that may be connected to the education part, that may be the ones that have led to the impact in education. So I will not be able to really understand all sides of the story. And understanding all sides of the story is very important when you're reading papers because you never know. You might read something that you genuinely never thought you would ever like or read. And perhaps that just changes your perspective about everything that you read from that point on. That is how we have built our memories and our perspectives and how we see things and how we view our world on a day to day basis. This is how we change because we get something, we develop something, we infuse that in our brain, and then perhaps that's how we kind of grow forward. And that's what we call that, hey, my brain has grown, hey, I'm older, hey, I got more mature. But that is really all what we're doing, right? Okay, and now we're gonna move on to the benefits of reading papers by itself the old way, where we had a pen and paper, we had a pencil, and we had 500 thick pages to read. Now it is very satisfying because you can literally feel the paper, you can draw your, just like as I've said, you can draw Sherlock Holmes drawings on it and perhaps solve the mystery and stuff, and perhaps really go deep into it and understand word by word what it says and XYZ. Now, the problem in that is that, first of all, information overload is a real thing. So you might get overwhelmed and the process is going to be super slow. You're going to take days and weeks or even months to read a 500-page report because it's not easy to keep all the understandings in line and build up the story in your brain from the start till the end and perhaps be able to perceive the exact same storyline that the author has intended for us to know. So that is why we were relying on AI because we want to know the whole story. So now you might argue and say that, hey, now this is where AI wins because it doesn't lose anything. So it knows everything all at once. So it's never going to lose the whole story. But then it's also going to show me only this, like, it's most likely going to show me the zoomed in part of the story because that's what I'm most interested in to please me. But I want to know the whole story. So again, this is the dilemma. So I like to call this the modern tech dilemma, where I do not know the solution to this. Usually, you would expect me to have such a big discussion right like this and perhaps present a solution. But honestly, I do not have a solution. I do not know that whether I'm supposed to stick to AI or whether I'm supposed to go back. I tried going back, but it didn't work because, again, it feels very slow and very redundant. So what's like the sweet spot or the balance where we either kind of change the way we perceive information on our screens, or perhaps we somehow integrate paper and AI in some way, form, whatever. Now, this problem seems very small, but I would say to myself and all the people that are hearing me right now, this can be a really nice project to work on. If somebody can get a solution out of this, they can perhaps make a product out of it that would change the world because, mind you, these papers and reports are not only read by people like me who are students right now, but also people like the President of the United States or the people in Mackenzie. Everybody reads, right? So this is I would say a very what do you say? A very big and a very broad problem, but this has one of the most biggest amounts of reach and biggest amounts of needs in today's time. So, yeah. So I just wanted to address this dilemma and perhaps share my thoughts on why I call this the modern tech dilemma and build up the story around it, and perhaps have this discussion that I cannot have on LinkedIn because that would just be too long and nobody reads at the end of the day, right? So that is about it. I won't take more of your guys' time and more of my time as I'm speaking at the moment. And I would say that do let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions, if you have any ideas on how we can solve this dilemma, and perhaps also tell me if you relate to this dilemma, if you're someone who is also in the same shoes as me. I would greatly want to sympathize with you, because as much as you understand it's a problem, as much as you also understand that hey, there's no solution to it, at least in the at the surface of it. So yeah, that was it for today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Please stay safe and take care of yourselves and watch out for the next video that I post. Bye bye.